Yaira issue number 2 has arrived. I've read it twice and I'm ready to do a review. I got my B cover as usual. Um, uh, this one is done by Joe Bennett. It's some really good art. A minor criticism here is it's fairly similar to issue 1. Both have Magus Nuummite on the cover. But yeah, like I said, minor criticism. The Yaira issue number 2 is written by Jen and Sylvia Soska, just as the first issue, and the art is done by Débora Caritá. The Soska Sisters recently gave me this, Bloodruth. I've this book is amazing. I'll probably do a review for this at some point. But for now, we're focusing on issue 2. Yeah, so far the Soska Sisters did Yaira issue number 1, number 2, and Bloodruth. 2 of the 3 I liked. One of them being this one. I'll talk a bit more about the art of Débora later on. The story continues on from Yaira issue 1, which ended with Yaira dealing with her pursuers and finding a hint of the location of Neptune. In issue 2, Yaira sets out to find Neptune, all the while being tormented by terrible nightmares involving Magus Nuummite. We get a good portion of Sally Rodell as well, as she uses Projexus to look for Neptune. Along the way, she reunites with an old friend. There's a lot of action going on, which I won't spoil. All the while, Sally is trying to leave Yaira behind her, which obviously, well, is not going well. There's some recurring characters. Of course, Aphacore is back with Stephanya. Altona is here. We see Magus Nuummite. And there's some new characters. Just like in issue 1, I think the art here is great. There's a lot of use of bright colors. There's at the appropriate places, there's use of darker tones or maybe blue tones to signify nighttime. I think Débora is very comfortable with drawing female or feminine characters, and it really shows. I'll show some panels and then you can see what I mean. Yaira and those that come from her planet, like we see here, are portrayed and as superhumans. Not that they have powers, but like kind of like the elves in Lord of the Rings. They're tall, handsome, very fit, truly exceptional. If we look at the story and writing overall, there's a lot of things going on in this issue and a lot of things being said. It's very action-packed. There's visions, there's creatures, there's fights, there's interesting developments in the story, what she eventually finds, some conclusions here and there. She gets some flashbacks. A lot happens in this issue. And because of a lot is happening, I see room for improvement in this book, or, well, let's say future issues. I feel like there's a little bit too much going on in this issue compared to how many pages this has. The first Yaira issue had 96 pages. This one has 50 something, 58 maybe. And there's a lot of story crammed in here. And this affects other aspects of the story, or the writing maybe. The story is very fast-paced with switching location, sometimes on every page. I noticed this early on in the book, like here, airport, Projexus. There they are at the lab. Here they are at the aquarium, restaurant. Very fast paced. I think this worked in Gooding because you were telling in a story about how he came. It spanned a couple of years, but here he seems very rushed, and we can't really rest on one location. This also doesn't allow for the art to speak for itself. A lot of things are spelled out, and one of my annoyances of the first issue was the amount of casual conversation that was happening during action scenes. This carries out over to this issue to a lesser degree, which is an improvement, but it's still off-putting. Like I said, I think all these things can be traced back to them trying to put too much into this issue. It's kind of like a domino effect. Luckily, this issue has a lot of good to show for itself. I didn't want to show this page because it's really cool. There's some cool things going on here. Abyssal creatures. There's fight scenes. No spoilers. I'll flick through them fast. There's story development, so we continue on and we get to learn more. Some things we like, some things we don't like. There's a development on multiple places, and the action scenes are pretty cool. Like, kudos to Débora for this. All in all, this was an improvement of issue 1, I think personally. I'm definitely interested to see where this is going, and I will wait for issue number 3.